terms of results, not of course in terms of reaction. After the 6 games on Saturday, wins for Forest, Brighton, Palace, Liverpool and Villa. Earlier on, Chelsea got over the line. Marc Cucurella's only goal to defeat Leicester. 3 home wins in a row. Spurs were 2 down at home to Bournemouth, but came back. Son penalty in the end to make it 2-2, and a draw as well at Old Trafford. Bruno Fernandes free kick cancelled out by Declan Rice. 9 down, 1 to go, and that is the Monday Night Football as West Ham welcome Newcastle. So Leicester stay second bottom, having lost at Stamford Bridge. That is 12 defeats in 13 Premier League games now for Ruud van Nistelrooy's side, and they remain 6 points from safety. Manchester United nudged their way up a place with that point to 34, level on points with Tottenham Hotspur. A reminder earlier on, Chelsea leapfrogged Manchester City and into the top 4, 2 points clear of the reigning champions. Arsenal 15 points behind Liverpool with a game in hand. A reminder now that Liverpool need 16 points from their remaining 9 games to be assured of being Premier League champions. That lead at the top, and as we mentioned earlier on, Liverpool now just need a maximum of 16 points from their remaining 9 games to win the title. And Mikel said he's not going to give up, and rightly so, but you said today this was a game they needed to win.
Yeah, we did need to win, and when we don't win a game like this, and obviously with our goalkeeper making some extraordinary saves, you know, the question is always forwards, and we are lacking. We're lacking forwards because I think that when you look at the possession in the first half and the chances created, with a forward in there who's in there for that particular reason to try and get on the end of things, that's where you miss it. You've got people continuing trying to arrive. You're trying to hold it up for people to make runs. You want someone in there so you can just put it in there and they can finish. And I think that is probably, in the end, will probably cost us not having that person in there to take those chances, to make it a more comfortable game for us.
I mean, we were just saying to Wright there, Wanyeri's 17, been amazing since he's come to the side. Had a bit of a down day today. It happens when you're a young kid. But they shouldn't be relying on him to be the star at Old Trafford. They've got a central midfield player playing up front. I know they've got injuries, but if you're second and you're chasing to win the league, you need more options than that. And that's why I said, in a way, I actually think they've overachieved in many ways, because this group of players has done amazing. But I still think they need 2 difference makers to take you from here to take the next step. If you look at what you're competing against, you look at, you know, the Haalands and the Salahs, they need a guy like that. If they get it, they could win everything. Yeah. I really believe that. Did
you share that opinion at the end of last season?
Yeah, everybody did. All the Arsenal fans.
Everybody's thinking it was going to happen in respect of who they're going to get, because that's what we need now. We got so close twice. Looks like we're going to probably get close again this season. You think you just need that piece and then people to stay fit, and you're probably going to challenge them. I think that we'll be a lot closer to Liverpool with that striker who could take those chances in those moments what Arsenal have needed, like we needed today in the first half.
Look what Liverpool has. Look at all the different options. You know, you've got Mo Salah, Jota, you know,
Gakpo, Diaz.
The 6 of them. You know, whereas I think if Saka's out, which he's been absolutely amazing for them, if he's out, is Martinelli going to get the goals? Yeah, I know. A couple of seasons ago he got
15.
He got 15. That's great. But again, those goals have dried up. Havertz is a great player, but he's not a number 9. You know, so you're relying on people to do something that's not their expertise. Just go get an Osimhen or somebody. Go get somebody that it's his job to score goals. You got everything else. Great goalkeeper, best defence in the league. Midfield is absolutely fantastic. Just need another one in there with Declan and Ødegaard. But go get a striker and a centre mid. You can go win everything. The money's coming in. They're selling the Smith Rowes and the, you know, those types of players. They must have the money.
It was very, very low, wasn't it, in the summer? So.
Yeah, it was. That's why, again, you know, you could go back to January and say something should have been done to strengthen. I don't know who they could have got, but that's not the job is to try and find somebody, and it didn't happen. And so you have to feel like, again, we have to start thinking about the summer, because you watch a game like that again and you just feel like it's just something missing. Options up front, and we needed that even before Saka got injured.
In that sense, do you feel for Mikel Arteta?
I've said on here, I don't think that he's been backed very well by the people upstairs, especially, like I mentioned it twice now, that we finished second. What more do you need? He's turned the club totally around, getting the fans on board, you know, getting the players what he needed to get out, and then getting the players that he needed to get in. building that culture with the fans. Everything went quiet with the owners and everything. But now, when you look at how far he's taken us, people are blaming Mikel. We saw his record at the start of this game, how many games he's won, and the managers who have done that above him. And he needed help from upstairs. As simple as that. So I'm delighted that Andrea Berta's coming in now, and he has to come in now, because the summer, he needs to start doing the work so as we could get these players at the start of the summer to get ready to go. We can't wait anymore. You can't let a manager like Mikel maybe say, you know what, your ambition isn't matching mine now. I've done it, I'm going to finish second 3 times, and you still haven't got a striker for me? 3 windows, like 5 windows in 3 years? You know, this question's got to be asked.
Mikel's done his job. He's turned this club completely around. All that negativity that was in and around at that time with Arsene leaving and Unai Emery coming in, he's fixed all that, got rid of the ones he didn't want, created an amazing culture. They're right there. Now you got to back him. He's there. You can't tell me Mikel didn't want a striker in January. Then all of a sudden, then you over-rely on Saka and his fitness, and Kai Havertz, who virtually plays every game. They break down. Martinelli breaks down, and then you're left with a 17-year-old, who's a brilliant 17-year-old, by the way, and a central midfield player who's playing as a striker. That can't be. You think back to what Arsenal had back in the day up front. Bergkamp, Wrighty, Perez, Overmars, Kanu, Henry. I mean...
Will Tord.
Literally, they had 7, and now you're relying on a really good number 10 in Kai Havertz to do the job for you, and now Marino. It just seems, I don't understand why that centre-forward position has almost died out, Righty. It's like there isn't that many options up there.
But then you look at, we're talking about centre-forwards, then you look at someone like Rasmus Højlund. Now, they've paid what they've paid from 63, 70, whatever it is. And if you're going to be paying that money, you are taking a chance. So you look at Højlund, you know, it was 63, whatever it is. You look at Darwin Núñez, he was 80-something. And then you look at Isak, he was 60-something. It's a gamble. And I don't care what anyone says. Whoever you're picking, it's going to be a gamble. So you might as well go in with what you're going to go in for. Do your due diligence on that player for how you want to play Arsenal, and just go and get him and make it work, because you can see it can come undone for you, like we're seeing with Højlund at the moment, unfortunately for him, and we've seen with Darwin Núñez. You know, it can go wrong for you, but at the same time, you've got to dip your feet in that water.
OK, United, they got a point, of course, as well. Here is the Manchester United manager's reaction. Ruben Amorim.
Well, Ruben, your thoughts on your team and their efforts today?
I think we did well. Of course, we don't want to play like this, defending so much and giving the ball to the opponent. But with all the games, with all the problems, and then the characteristics of the players, try to leave Lindelof, for example, without games, trying to let him without a lot of meters to cover. Casemiro is more comfortable in this kind of game, so I try to adapt and to imagine the game that we could win, and we proved that today.
Are you on the back foot mainly because it's a tactical decision from yourself, given the options you've got, the players you have available?
It's also the opponent. The last game for Champions League was high pressure from PSV, man to man, and they are harder to mark in this way. In the low block, we can control more the game, and then we have some good players for transition. I think Garnacho made a really complete game. So he was upset last Thursday, and today it was amazing. That
said, once you went ahead in the game, did you feel like the confidence grew and you became a much more threatening side? Yeah, it's normal. It's normal, and we try to let the starting 11 until the goal, because you know that when you suffer a goal, all that the players tired from the last games is going to show. And we push a little further. I think it works. It worked a little bit, but we try to choose the best moments to press high, and we have some moments winning the ball, and we create a lot of chances to win the game today.
True, the most forgettable 45 minutes until a moment of magic from Bruno Fernandes. Roy Keane. Where would Manchester United be without Bruno?
Captain Fantastic, yeah. No, his quality is...
As you've always said.
Yeah, I've never been doubted about his quality, but I still go back to, I still think he can do a lot more for the team. But the game was poor from United, poor from Arsenal. But this quality, we know he's got it in him. an amazing strike. We'd obviously question the goalkeeper, the wall, etc. But what a strike, the power, the technique.
What's the key to it? From this distance, is it just getting it over the up and down?
Yeah, you'd think so, yeah, but the power he gets on it to get over the big wall, I think that's the bit that caught us all out, and I think it's caught the goalkeeper out. Because the power behind the shot, usually when you're trying to get over the big wall, you obviously have to get a bit of height in it, but to still have that power behind it, I think was brilliant.
You're looking at the technique?
Yeah, I was just looking at the technique. I don't know if he hit it with his foot, and that's what's made it dip. Because I don't know how he can
it's a little
bend
bit
it like that.
Drogba and Ronaldo technique.
The referee's in the way.
You can have a look at the keeper's positioning. I think what you try to do is create a top spin. That gets the extra power, and that is moving so fast. And he's still... The goalkeeper is perhaps a yard away. Once that ball's gone past him, look, he's miles away from it still. It's such a good goal.
Here's the
one here. Look how far away he is from it. He's not even close.
But he's sort of before the free kick was taken, you were talking here about him being really close to this right-hand side post. But by the time he kicks it, he's in a decent position,
but then he tried to
isn't
change. He does get across another couple of yards, but I still think he's been caught out by the power. If you watch him here, we're always looking.
Let's count the distance of the wall here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Because a lot of people are thinking this was more than 10 steps.
It does seem more than 10,
And the thing
doesn't
is,
it?
as well, if you look at that wall, it's a really big wall. There's Rice, Gabriel and Marino, 6 foot plus. And then have you got the ability then to get it over the top and get it up and down in time with the pace and that trajectory? It's a brilliant free kick.
I think the pace has caught the goalkeeper out, because, again, he does come across and he gives himself a better chance to get, but I think the pace has probably surprised him.
I'm not a goalkeeper, but I've seen a lot of free kicks, and it don't matter how hard he hits that ball. That's that far inside the post, and he's still nowhere near it. He was so far over, and I mean, because look, he can virtually touch the post with his other hand.
He
moves
again, but then he's good. He probably does give himself a bit too much to do.
And that ball's coming. I'd be interested to interview the goalkeeper and see what he thinks, but I don't see too many goals going in with free kicks that far inside the post, and him not getting anywhere near it as well. That was where I don't think his positioning was right. But
welcome back. Look at that, Manchester United. One effort on target in the first half. It resulted in the goal. They haven't had a corner. They've had just 5 touches in Arsenal's penalty area, and the most touches of any Manchester United player in that first half was their goalkeeper, Andre Onana. But somehow, Wrighty, they're 1-0 in front.
Yeah, because if you don't take the chances, I think that Arsenal have been very dominant with the ball in and around the box. The movement's been good, but they've not been clear enough. I think we've had one real clear chance from Marino. But other than that, it's not been clear where you can see someone get a proper foot on it and have a real shot and test the keeper. But that's what can happen as long as you stay in the game. And they've got the quality of someone like Bruno Fernandes, who in that position, with a poor free kick to give away at that stage, can punish you. Can punish and did.
Ewan Scholes, he said, United might have to sit in a bit. I don't think you quite expected the way it's gone, though.
We were hoping they sat in. Not that much so. But to be fair, Garnacho's been a one-man wrecking crew. He's the only one, really, you look at and you think, right, he could create something, but he's on his own. And he does brilliant to actually get the free kick. And when you get Bruno an opportunity like that on the edge of the box, to be fair, it's a poor foul from Trossard to give away. You're so in control, I think, at that stage. Don't foul at the edge of the box. Give United a bit of a chance. They barely had a kick in the game, United. But if you give a player like Bruno a chance in and around the box, he can take it. But I just fancied him, right?
You know when it was happening, the distance it was there, the goalkeeper's positioning, you could see, he's almost see him creeping across there because he feels, OK, I'm too far over there. But it still didn't go in. It didn't go in the middle of the goal. I just feel like I'm not sure the wall could do any more there because they're too far back. I'm feeling like the goalkeeper, maybe he's positioning. But you see him move across because he needs to get across, and it's still too late. I think that I'm not happy with the positioning of that wall, to be honest.
Brilliant quality from Bruno, you'd have to say. I mean,
where would they be without him?
God, no. I mean, they're 15th.
To be bottom 3.
Wow. But he just has a feel for it. Even the way he celebrates what it means to him. And again, Garnacho, I thought, was class today. He's really, gone from the front. But if you think about that, you see that graphic there, 12 goals. He's a top scorer. He should not be your top scorer. As good as he is, he should not be your top scorer. He should be maybe third. You should have 2 or 3 strikers that get more than him. But this is just quality writing.
We mustn't take anything away from from Bruno simply because we fancied him to get this at least on target to get the shot. But obviously, I don't think the goalkeeper's helping himself in his position. You know, he's trying to come across. It's too late. I don't know if the wall jumped high enough. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Simply because it's a great free kick. So I'm trying to find something to say, and it's just a great free kick.
Well, despite scoring 7 in the Champions League in the week, they're now 2.5 games in the Premier League without a single goal.
Yeah.
How good were the opportunities they had in that first half?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure they were clear enough. I think there were some really good movements, some nice, intricate play in and around the edge of the box from Martin Odegaard's movement. You know, trying to get the ball in there. Like this one here is the chance. That one he's got to make the goalie make a save, I think, Marino. This is fantastic play from Odegaard, who has been really good in these little pockets. I think he's got to try and hit it through on target and let the goalkeeper make a save. You know, so that's all I'm saying. Like this one here, I think, again, make the goalkeeper make a save with Trossard. Very fortunate with his touch. And I think he's trying to whip his foot round. He doesn't quite catch it. You can see it there, kind of. There's a club foot shot on it. I don't know what that hit. But, like, again, you know, we're in and around there. Man United are defending deeply. Again, you know, he's coming over his shoulder. He's trying to find it. Not quite clear enough. But I think that the way Arsenal are playing and the way they are on the edge of the box, as long as they can stay with it, keep the passes tight, we'll find a space and someone will take the chance.
For 68% possession for Arsenal, Onana's barely had to make a save. So when they're in control like that, they need clear shots. And again, I don't know if they bring somebody from the bench to change it. I think Trossard and Odegaard looked the most likely. But again, for all that possession, you would have thought they'd have more shots than did in that first half.
Nice. Does have a different feel about it, this fixture, to some of the ones down the years?
Yeah, I think so. Probably, yes. And you look at where Man United are at the minute, obviously you have to say they're languishing where they are. They're not meant to be where they are, but it still is a fixture that kind of gets you excited because it is Man United and it is Arsenal, and the history says that it's always going to be that.
Yeah, and you know what they like to play in, no matter where they are in the league, these two.
Well, I can't remember many where Man United were 15th in these. Normally you're up chasing something.
Well, there haven't been any in the Premier League era, so they're their lowest ever point at this point of a Premier League season.
Well, I mean, literally, I just can't believe it. I really can't with what they have. And to Arsenal to come to town at Old Trafford and you're 15th and Arsenal are second. And they're doing it right. Arsenal doing everything right. Got a great manager, recruitment's getting better. Obviously, they're missing a couple pieces, but they're right there. And you look at Man United, you think, okay, what have you got to plan for the future? You know, in terms of goal and defensive midfield and attack. They have so many issues. And you almost have to look across at Arsenal and go, you're actually quite jealous of how much they have and how close they are. I know Arsenal want to take the next step, but they'll spend big in the summer, get 2 or 3 big ones, and then they compete for everything. Premier League, Champions League, whereas United are just, they're miles away.
The thing is with the appointment, I think I said it on one of the shows, that it's vitally important that they do appoint a director of football before the summer, before the next couple of weeks. You need that person to come in, because I think the summer for Arsenal, and I'm not going to talk about the January window and what we should have done in the summer, that's past now, but the summer for Arsenal now is huge. It's huge, and you want somebody with his experience, you know, coming from Atletico Madrid, had 12 years there, you know, chased down Barcelona, chased down Real Madrid, won a couple of La Ligas, you know, runners up twice in the Champions League, and done big moves, like you mentioned, Griezmann and Alvarez and people like that. He's done big moves. So we're talking about somebody that's not been promoted up through Arsenal, because you want a different voice, I think, Mikel. You know, him having Edu, he wants a voice that's going to come in and say, no, I think this and I should do that, and entrust his experience, because obviously Edu didn't have as much as he's got going into the job. So I'm really, really pleased with this appointment, Steve.
Yeah. And it's a crucial one in what Arsenal are trying to do. Like you say, the next step. It's a fine margin, but someone of that experience off the pitch to help Mikel Arteta on it.
And I actually think it's the easiest thing right now. I know a lot of people probably might disagree with me, but I think when you've built up everything around you like they have, the manager's the most important appointment, done a brilliant job with that. The squad is really good. One of the best defence in the Premier League. All they need to do is go cherry pick one or two top players. And I know it sounds easy, but you need a striker, just go get one. You need another central midfield player, go get one. Spend £100 million on 2, and you're there, you can compete for everything. Whereas I think when you need a lot like Man United, and you think, well, where do I start? Where do I spend the money? Keeper, midfield, defence. I think Arsenal, centre mid, striker, go spend 100 or 80 million on both, and you're there for the next 5 or 10 years.
Is it as simple as that? Just those two?
You know what? The way Owen said it there, I started dreaming a bit. Because you want to know where these players come from? Because everybody, any player of the calibre that Arsenal are now looking at that way we need, everybody will be looking at them. So you're going to have to sell the project to a player, to their agents, to tell them where this club's trying to go, why we need this player, and why you're the player that's going to take us to that next place. I think that that's where Arsenal are at the moment, is if you have to compete with certain people. That's the only problem I have. But I believe if Mikel gets someone in the room alongside Andrea Berti, I think you're probably going to try and you're probably going to hope that they will stay here and they will sign for us.
But you know what, right? Before, I only went to United from Bayern Munich because that was the place to go. Sir Alex, Ronaldo.
You told me you've been a United fan all your life.
No, but I did. But the only team I was going to be Bayern for was Man United, just because of the history and everything. If I'm leaving anywhere to go anywhere right now, Arsenal's top of the queue.
What, ahead of Liverpool?
Just different. I mean, there's
a former Man United player can't say you want to join
No,
Liverpool.
but what I'm saying is,
I hear what you're saying.
You got London, for a lot of the international players, that's a big thing also for the family. So living 3 hours away from London is also a different thing for some people. But I just think Arsenal is, if you were a player and somebody said to you, do you want to go there or there? I'd say,
so
a lot of players
on that, is it? I mean, people are talking about the points difference and what have you at the top of the table, but is it important to finish this season really strongly, as close as you can get to Liverpool, to then sit down to a £100 million striker and go, look, we're only that far away?
Were you away from maybe finishing this job off? Absolutely, but like when you. If right now I'm delighted with what's going on. When you look at what's happened in respect to the injuries, something that the manager has not made any excuses about. He's not made excuses about the injuries. He's always talking about how hard the guys are working. The main thing now is, like I say, is to get the players in the summer. That's going to kick on because, like I said, the summer's going to be vitally important to what we're doing. But the way we're playing, Steve, we're still okay. It looks like 16 points, but there's 2 games. Obviously, this game and there's one more game that we've got. I think they've played, 29, 27. So, it sounds insurmountable at the minute, but like two good wins, you're still in it. And we're still in it with the season, how it's gone, with the injuries and everything what's happened. Now, I'm making excuses for the injuries, and they're still amongst it. And it is, obviously, it's vitally important that we can get something this season. But if it doesn't happen, see, I'd still be happy with the progress as long as the summer's good.
Yeah. But you see my point, if you're talking to that £100 million striker and you finished 12 points behind Liverpool, or 2, there's a difference there when you're trying to attract players.
Steve, you want to go somewhere. Sir Alex said to me he wanted me to sign because he wanted to help win the Champions League. And we were fortunate enough to do that. To take Arsenal to go win the Premier League, Champions League, that's a huge... If you're the guy that helps you get over that hump, that's huge. Liverpool might win everything. They might win the Premier League, Champions League. Do they need you? So to go somewhere where you can help them take that final step is... I think is one of the most important things you could have as a player.
Well, it's a landmark day as well for Mikel Arteta today. 200 Premier League games in charge of Arsenal, and of course in his career as well. And he's also the second youngest to reach that at 42, bettered only by Roberto Martinez. But when you look at the most wins in those 200, he's ahead of the likes of Arsene Wenger and Rafa Benitez, and in fact he's in very good company as well, because he's pretty close to the likes of Sir Alex, Jurgen Klopp, even Jose Mourinho ahead of Pep Guardiola at the top of that chart. So that's the progress he's made in his first 200 games in the Premier League as a manager.
That's very impressive. Obviously, I think I still look at Arsene Wenger and Sir Alex for their longevity in there, but like even Rafa Benitez done well there. But that is fantastic from Mikel's point of view. And this is how close we are to having an elite manager. And the thing is, the only thing that's got to get him over that line is, once, like he says himself, is the trophies. Because you look at his record, it stands up. I think against Man United, I think we've won 7 times in the last 10 times, or something like we played against United.
4 in a row.
Exactly. So we're talking about, people used to talk about Arsenal not being able to beat people in the top 6. Now we're beating all of them. He's taken us totally to where we need to be, and we just need to take the final step.
And when you talk, and we will talk after the break about the size of the job Ruben Amorim's got in terms of off the pitch, but Mikel Arteta had a similar one when he walked through the door in terms of the culture and the problems they had off the pitch and making big decisions, Aubameyang, etc. He's done all that in the past to get to this point now.
Done remarkable. Honestly, I mean, that was a Hall of Fame list. if he brings trophies to Arsenal, he'll be in the Hall of Fame as a manager. He was a really good player as well, but I think Mikel's done an incredible job. I think the last step is hard, but to be in that group, in amongst those managers, is remarkable. And they all did have time. But I think, in a way, I think they've almost overachieved this season. With all the injuries that they've had, they're missing the whole front line. Kai Havertz, Bukayo Saka, Martinelli. And they're still second, and they're still in the Champions League. So
you know what, as well, I would say that I think that is totally built on that defence.
Yeah.
I think, obviously, losing a lot of the forward play. If we lost the same amount of players from defence that we did up front, we wouldn't be nowhere near where we are now. That defence has been magnificent, even though the left side has moved around a bit in respect of the left back. But other than that, that defence has been fantastic.
And how do they score 7 in the Champions League when they haven't scored in the last 2 Premier League games and hardly had a shot?
Well, to be fair, they're not going to rely on one guy anymore, are they? They need players to step up, and you got to step up. There's no Ian Wright floating around up there, so you need somebody to go.
I was actually going to ask that Wrighty that. They haven't had a 20-goal striker since Aubameyang 6 years ago.
It feels... You know, the thing is, Steve, is why I always think that you've got to have that kind of calibre of player in your roster, because you get games where it just doesn't go for you, but you've got that striker who knows how to recognise in the moment, like we've seen with Mo Salah, like what Mo says. He knows, I'm not going to be playing great in all the games, but I can recognise the moment to take over and make sure that that chance is taken, or, you know, that last final ball through to someone else to score is done. That's the kind of striker that Arsenal need now. So you can, with that defence, what we've got, you can win games 1-0 when you've got that striker who'll take a shot out of the blue and score one of those goals out of nothing, create something for himself. And that's what those kind of strikers do. They take the chance that you need to settle you in the game.